away from the beginning to the
All right,
end,
go
giving
ahead,
our
Spence.
predictions.
Take it away. Take it away. Ready? One,
All
two, three.
right, he just collapsed. All right, what's going on, guys? Me and Cam are going to be breaking down UFC 316 today. Merab against Sugar Sean O'Malley. Going to be starting from the early prelims all the way to the main card, giving our predictions, letting you guys know what we think is going to happen.
All right. First fight of the night,
What's
we
going on?
got Quillen Sakild versus Yano Ashmuz. Break us down the tell of the tape here. What we got? 6 foot for Quillen, 5'9". So Quillen has a height advantage.
Mhm.
Seems to probably. I think Yanal looks like he walks more on the heavier side based on these pictures right there.
100%. Yeah. It,
I could be mistaken. They're both in the same stance. The age favors Quillen, which this is a game of age. Um, let's see. In terms of strikes, definitely Quillen is the busier fighter. Definitely throws more strikes out there. Um, they're both 8-1. Man, when I was watching these guys, uh, Quillen had a 19-second KO.
yeah, really early
Very super
finish.
fast, great technique. Like that was a beautiful, beautiful knockout he had, and I think that was his first fight in the UFC.
Yep.
Before that, he
Yeah,
actually
that was
had
right in his
three
debut.
title fights. He defended his belt three times before making his UFC debut. So, kid definitely has some sort of championship experience, you could say, having been a champ from another organization. And normally, people those guys who cross over tend to do pretty well from a smaller promotion and being champ. So
Hmm.
that's he's looking very promising.
Yeah, I see him taking this one over, I think he could maybe get like a round two knockout. It's pretty tough though. He's got a good chin to him, so it might
Yeah,
be tough to get him out of there.
you
But I think just with Quillen's volume and just kind of the combinations that he puts together, I can definitely see him catching. Um,
um for me the some of the breakdowns for he was a very very great wrestler,
mhm.
amazing ground and pound, and he has a really really nice high kick with his rear right foot. But
Hmm.
yeah, man, the guy has fantastic ground and pound, heavy pressure on the wrestling, and it's just gonna be an interesting matchup, honestly. I'm looking for like what a way to open the card. I'm looking forward to it, man.
Do you see this one going the distance?
Um, I kind of do see it going to the distance because I feel like they're both pretty pretty skilled when it comes to the striking department. Um,
Mhm.
and I see that Quillen might have the advantage on the feet, which will force to wrestle, and that will be
Yep.
the reason why I think it will go to distance. But and right now they have Quillen as a huge minus 575
Yeah.
favorite, which is
Yeah.
nuts. So.
I don't think it should be like that. I think it should be at maybe
I
200,
think it's a
maybe
lot closer
more of a pick 'em.
than the odds say it is, in my opinion. But then again, like the reach, he does have the reach. He is much taller. Um,
Yeah,
same
numbers wise, he has
stance,
pretty much every advantage.
huh?
So numbers wise, he has pretty much every advantage,
Yeah, yeah.
but
Especially
numbers only go so
being in
far
the
in this
same
game.
stance, he should have that advantage on landing the strikes first, especially like the jab. So
Mhm.
yeah, we'll see, man. I'm excited for this fight, honestly. When I was watching, I was blown away. Moving on to the next, we have
What's your take in it though?
my take.
You gotta see who you want to win, man. Come on.
Okay, you're right. You're right. I think pick. I will pick in decision.
Okay.
I'll
All
pick
right.
in decision just because I haven't seen Quillen perform. It was his first fight, and he did amazing. But
Mhm.
that was only 19 seconds, so I think based on time and experience, uh I'm going with on this one.
All right. I respect it. I'm gonna end up going with Quillen on this one, so we're 1-1 right now.
But
We'll see how it goes moving on.
see how it goes. Next, we have Jaka Sarigi versus Joe Sang Yo. All
I'm so
right.
excited for this one, dude.
So excited for this one. But like we're eating really good, bro. We're eating
Dude, yeah.
so good. rewatching all these fighters and all these fights, I realized how amazing this card was. And yeah, man, this is going to be fireworks.
And
Let's
Sergey's
see.
got some real power.
Yep. Mind you, this is this guy's first fight in the UFC. There's not much about him, but if you go watch, those of you who know, you know. Joe
Dude,
Sang
he's so electric.
is
So
electric.
electric.
He is him. I think he could hopefully this is a great matchup for his first fight in the UFC because Jakal could crack, man. That
Oh
guy
yeah.
can crack. Um, let me see. He is 5'8", 145 pounds, 30 years old, almost the same thing around the same age. Not much information on Josang Yo, but 14-0 and 8-0 for Josang Yo. Josang coming in as minus 525 favorite. Fantastic.
I
Um,
think it favors Joe Sanyol a little bit that this one's a 3-rounder just
yeah.
because of his volume and overall just the combinations he throws. Like he's got the spinning attacks, he's got great kicks. He controls the distance well. So I think he'll be able to put a decent amount of volume on Sergey. The only thing is just Sergey's power is just it's almost unmatched for the newcomers that we're watching right now. And I think that could be the only thing that could really catch Sangyo is if he tries to do too much and leaves himself open. But
Yeah.
my
So when I
my true prediction though, I see Sangyo either third round TKO or getting it done by decision.
good, good. I could see that prediction, and I agree. I am probably not going to pick, but if I was going to pick, I would pick Sanyo just based on what I've seen and his style. He controls the
Hmm.
distance very well, and he has incredible spinning kicks, beautiful feints. His distance control is amazing. He also has a really nice flying knee. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, dude, I think it's deadly.
I'm not liking 480.
It's a little the highlights are a little laggy on my end. We'll have
Yeah,
to watch it back after and see how it's looking.
no, it's gonna be laggy because I try to put it as like the highest definition as I could,
Oh, okay, okay.
but
It's right now it's coming through pretty clear though.
yeah, yeah, because I changed the HP, but
Hmm.
um, but yeah,
You
man,
just got that fucking swagger to him, dude.
he does. He has that it factor, whatever Dana was talking about, that it factor. He
Yeah,
has it, man.
he's got it. He's got it.
Got it. Great defense against the wall. The way that I saw this is I see that Jacob might come in with a wrestling style because he has
Hmm.
really good grappling. He is very explosive the on the exit of the exchanges. So when he goes for grappling and people break away, he's very good at following up, which I wanted to point out in the fight that I was watching in this one actually. When Joe Song Yo was exiting the pocket, a lot of times his hands was down,
Hmm.
which this opponent wasn't able to capitalize. But if I was Jekka watching that, that's one thing for sure I'm gonna be looking for, especially off any breaks. Is I'm gonna look to crack,
100%.
and which seems to be Jekka's like comfort zone. So
Yep.
definitely Joe Song Yo has to watch out for that. But nonetheless, I do think if it's on the feet and it stays like a striking match, Joe Sangyo is the superior striker in my eyes.
Oh, 100%.
Definitely Jekka is the more powerful, 100%. So Jekka has that one punch knockout factor, but Joe Sangyo is a technical master, man. I can't
Yeah,
wait
dude,
to see the
he's a
fight.
monster, dude. I'm so excited to watch him fight.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. So you said you're not picking for this one though?
No, I am Joe Sangyo.
Okay, okay. All right. Yeah, it's that one's unanimous.
Next, we have Arena da Silva versus the Joker, Wong Kong. I absolutely love Wong Kong. I just want to say that. And yeah, let's talk about Arena de Silva. 17 wins, 10 losses. She has been fighting for quite a while. That's a lot of fights. 27 fights under her belt
Yep.
against somebody who has only fought 8 times, so a huge amount of experience on her side here. Let's see, orthodox. So she is fighting against a southpaw, different stances. So
Mhm.
that's going to be a really intriguing match. She is the younger fighter. I didn't know that Wang Chun was that old. Well, she's not. She's 33, but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Maybe like a year or two past the UFC prime.
Yeah. Arena has a really good technique. When she's stringing her punches and kicks together, she uh she used to be that, like back like how you say back in the days, but
Yeah, when she first came
she's been
around.
fighting for quite a while, and
Mhm.
when you fight like that and you get to a high level and you take some losses, man, but overall she's still game. She's still a dog. She's very very fierce, very explosive, and some pretty good power on her hands. Um,
Yeah, I think the biggest issue for Kong in this one is just going to be the IQ difference. Thing, I
Indeed.
mean, De Silva's seen a lot of people, step in front of her. She's gotten into a lot of real dog matches. Like she's gotten into full, 3 round fights all on the feet, just throwing hands back and forth. She's gotten into grappling wars. She's seen all she's been in the trenches. And
Um,
even though, Kong has sort of done the same, Kong's had some dog fights too, but I think whatever Kong brings, I think that Silva will have an answer for it. But I do still see Kong winning the fight just off of pure skill. I
yeah,
think
I do
I
think
think I
third
could see it
round.
maybe a split decision.
Uh, for me, I am going probably knockout by,
Oh shit. Okay.
yeah, Hong Kong.
Okay.
The reason why is because I don't know if you're able to pull up her record. When was her loss? Because I
Hmm.
remember
Yeah, I can look.
she lost a fight that she was dominating. I don't know if it was the one second before last or her last fight. I'm pretty sure it's the second before last. Um, but yeah, she was dominating, and because she got a little bit too cocky, she ended up losing that fight. So I think when a skillful fighter like that goes through an experience such as that, where you're winning the fight, is going your way, and but your cockiness, cost you.
Yep.
The end, I
Yeah.
think that makes that fighter much more smart, much more accurate, much more cautious. And
Mm.
I think the game plan that she's coming in is, yeah, to put on a masterclass. So I'm picking Wing Kong by KO.
I like that. So she had a KO win in her UFC debut
Yep.
against Victoria Leonardo. Her second fight against Gabriela Fernandez was the one that you were referencing. She ended up losing by a submission
Yep.
in the second round,
Second
and
round.
that was November of 2024. So she fought once after in February of 2025, and she had a unanimous decision win against Bruna Brazil,
And that was I remember watching that fight. That was also a really good performance by her too.
which is yeah, that's an impressive win
So yeah, my decision, Wang Kong.
like that. Yeah, her win against Bruna Brazil was right after Brazil getting a decision win over Molly Meatball as well.
Yeah, you're right.
So
Um,
that aged really well for her.
I do want to say Arena Silva is so bad. She's so beautiful. Oh, delicious. Yeah, that's going on. That's
Hey
going
man,
on mine. I don't care.
straight we got Tracy Cortez in a couple weeks.
No facts.
Gotta hold it together, man. Hold it
Nah, you
together.
know who's really my baby though? Uh,
Mm.
oh God, I can't remember her name. She used to date the surfer. Uh,
Um, the blonde chick.
nah, brunette. Cor- Jesus Christ. Michelle Waters? No, not Michelle Waterson is a little Asian one, right?
Yeah, yeah. I
I
don't think
don't
you're
know.
talking about Watterson.
No, I'm not talking about Waterson. She's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu girl.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Uh,
There's a lot of Brazilian jiu-jitsu
yeah,
girls.
there is exactly. You're right. Moving on next, we got Chaos Williams versus Uros Medic. Chaos 15-4, Uros 10-3. What do you think here, Spence?
I think this one's a really tough one for me to call. I think Medic is a little more of a technician, and he does have power in his hands. But just Chaos walking forward with those looping shots. It's kind of like I don't want to relate him to Drekus, but it's kind of something where Chaos like he throws so randomly that like it's kind of unpredictable to
Yeah.
really see what he's gonna do. And just the sheer power that Chaos has behind his hands, I could see him catching Medic, but I don't really think that's how this one's gonna go. I think Medic is gonna be able to close that distance. I think he's gonna be able to stay away from those power shots, and I think he's gonna piece him up. I think.
Yeah, I do agree that I could see what you mean by the awkward style of Chaos Williams in comparison to Drakus. But unlike Drakus, Chaos throws a lot of shots that leaves him off balance.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Drakus is weirdly has
Well,
weird
he's
technique.
dude's got like a
You
fucking
know,
drunken style. Like,
exactly. But
yeah,
Chaos is what his name is, Chaos. And
yep.
that's what he brings sometimes when you are fighting in that chaotic style. You do leave yourself susceptible to a lot of counters. And
Mhm.
someone like Euros who has the advantage on the feet, it definitely could piece him up for sure. And I think for this fight, I'll go Euros decision.
Okay. I was gonna say either decision or maybe a late third round KO, like kind of closing out the fight. They both just kind of let it all out.
Mm,
But it's a tough test for Euros though.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Next, we have Sergey Spivich versus Waldo Cortez.
I'll let you start this one off.
Sergey, absolute dog. Um, this is a performance against Taito Vasa where he absolutely dominated him on the
Yeah,
ground.
destroyed him.
Wonderful ground and pound. Um, yeah. So Sergey 17-5, Waldo 13-1. Waldo with a slight height advantage by 1 inch. Definitely the bigger fighter. Uh, age 33, so pretty close in age. Same stance. Striking accuracy is on Sergey's side, but definitely I think the power. They both have power, but Waldo I think has the bigger guns in this fight. I think Sergey has the sharper tools in this fight. And also based on the weight difference, Sergey is very, very great grappler. Um, I see his gas tank playing a factor in this fight against Waldo because if I was Sergey, I would just take him down
Yeah.
um, based on my ability.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I do see it. That's how this fight is playing out, and I probably call it maybe a weirdly. I could see Sergey choking him out for some reason. Something's telling
Okay.
me round two rear naked choke.
I could see that. This one's a little bit of like a kind of like a shot in the dark,
Yeah,
but I am
it's pretty
actually gonna
close.
take I'm gonna take Waldo on this one. I don't even it's hard to say that because I do think that Sergey is the better fighter. He's more established and he's fought much better competition.
Mm,
The one thing I do like about Waldo is just his improvements going from fight to fight. I think both his offensive and defensive wrestling has improved a lot. He's still not on an elite level in any aspect, but I think, having a full camp, I think he'll be able to prepare for Sergey well. And I mean, this is basically the biggest step up that Waldo's taking in his fighting career so far. So I I I can see him kind of taking the test and doing well on it. It's more of a pick 'em fight.
yeah.
Like I don't even think Waldo should be an underdog. I think it should just be minus 110 both sides. But I think I'm gonna take Waldo on this one. This might be my first loss, but I gotta roll with it.
Next, we have Amazat Mirzakana versus Brenson Ribeiro. How you see this one?
This can be a fucking bloodbath.
Big
This
blood.
one is yeah, it's yeah,
Amazat was I was watching him, man. That dude is sharp.
dude, yep.
Sharp, that dude is strong. But also Benson could crack, bro. So
Hell yeah, you can. I
Um,
think Bredson might have a small advantage in the jiu-jitsu department. If they go down to the ground, I think Bredson will be able to he'll be able to scramble well. He'll be able to find his position and
Amzat
maybe hold
was
some type of control. But
Azamat was a typical Russian fighter that likes to stand.
mhm.
But I think he in terms of jiu-jitsu, definitely I'll give it to Branson. But in terms of wrestling, like pure
Yeah, no,
wrestling,
that goes. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that goes to Amazon. He has amazing top pressure.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think I'm picking Amazon for this
Oh, me too. Honestly, I think he's gonna knock Ribeiro out.
one.
I don't think this one's going the distance. They're gonna be swinging. If it goes to the ground, I don't think it's gonna stay there long. If it does, then if Ribeiro doesn't kind of scramble to try to find that submission, then he's gonna get his lights out.
Next, we have Bruno Silva versus Joshua Van. Bro, I'm excited for this. It
Mhm.
is going to be straight fireworks,
Mhm.
nonstop swinging at 1,000 miles per hour because these flyweights are just lightning fast, bro. Bruno Silva coming off, I think, a loss from Manel Kape, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. And then he had that win against Cody Durden prior
You
to
know,
that.
when I was watching that fight against Manel Kape, it's not like he everything he was doing was terrible. It was just
It's
Manel
just
Kape just had
he was on another level.
yeah, he was just on one that night.
That was a championship tier
Yeah.
performance.
So what is Joshua Van's last couple fights?
So let's see. I believe if I'm not mistaken, I think he fought twice last year, but let me just make sure.
He has amazing hands too, so
Yeah,
I
his coming he's a really accurate striker.
yeah, I think he will for sure have the advances on the feet. It might be another case of something similar like Manel Kape versus
Mm.
Bruno, in my opinion. I think it kind of plays out in a similar fashion. And in terms of significant stride landed per minute, uh, Joshua is way the busier fighter. So, yeah, man, I think he takes this fight home. It should be a
Yeah,
victory.
he's coming off Joshua Van's coming off of three unanimous decision wins in a row. He fought four times in
Who
2024 actually.
was his last opponent?
His last opponent was Ray. Dude, I hate last names. Ray Tsusoria.
Word. Okay.
He was he was that fighter that came from Japan.
Oh,
Hmm.
yeah. All right. So we both going Joshua Van for this one.
Yeah, 100% I'm going Joshua Van. I
Gotcha.
think he's gonna get a decision win, but it's gonna be straight numbers. I
Yeah.
think they're both gonna land 100 plus strikes.
Next we got Vicente Luque versus Kevin Holland. I am so excited for this fight just because I just like watching both of these guys fight.
Mhm.
The records are absolutely not the greatest. 23 wins and 10 losses and 27 wins and 13 losses. Uh,
They're both just
that's a
brawlers.
lot. Dude, how much fight is that between them? It's
Um,
23. I'm not great at math, but there's a lot of fights.
I think at least. Well, Vicente's got 34 fights to him. Holland's got how many? Holland's got,
That's 74 fights.
I was gonna say Holland's got 40 fights just
Jesus
himself.
Christ.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yo, for these guys to be doing that for doing this game for that long, the amount of damage their body has gone through, bro, it's
That's all right, dude. Kevin Holland's gonna go home, smoke 8 blunts, play some Call of Duty, and then he'll be back in.
that is true. He's like, "Yo, boss, call me next week."
Hmm.
But me and my friend was were discussing this fight when we were watching some of the highlights, and my friend picked Kevin Holland, but I picked Vicente Luque. I think just based on
Okay.
recent performances and how they perform, uh, seems like the commitment of Kevin Holland. Not wait, let me rephrase that. Not the commitment. It seems like the
The
drive
dedication.
in the fight just isn't there as much as it used to. His like recent performances has been like I'll say not lax a days, but he looks like he's just
He's
fighting
not
a paycheck, if that makes sense.
he's not showing Kevin Holland. Like
Yeah, the
he's
first
fighting the fight. He's not fighting to win.
exactly.
Mm.
Sensei Luque has looked. I think he's coming off a Darce choke, if I'm not
Against Temba
mistaken,
Garimbo.
against Themba, and that was
Hmm.
a
That
beautiful
was super
choke.
impressive.
Oh my
Super
God,
impressive.
that was super impressive, bro.
And he definitely needed that too, because he got knocked out by Joaquin Buckley the fight prior to
As
that.
before, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so definitely
He's had some really, really tough opponents. His last
Kevin.
five fights have been Bilal Muhammad, Jeff Neal, RDA, Joaquin Buckley, and then Temba Garimbo. So
Good.
he's had some fucking dogs in front of him.
Yeah. Just based off momentum right now, I'll say because I think Kevin Holland is coming off a loss, correctly, if I'm not
Yep.
mistaken.
Yeah, yeah.
I think Vicente Luque is trying to prove that he's still, that name, he's
Oh,
that guy. And I just don't see that with Holland, so I think I'm gonna just pick Vicente Luque on this one just off energy in the
I
last
respect
fight.
that.
Yeah.
I think my pick's pretty biased on this one. Like I fuck
Oh,
with Kevin
and that's
Holland super
totally okay,
heavy.
bro.
Fuck
That's
with Kevin Holland super heavy. So I gotta ride with Kevin Holland. I had to correct
Kevin,
you
I
on one
love you,
thing.
Kevin.
So
Kevin, I love you. Don't worry. If you win, I am rooting for you.
hell yeah.
If I'm a betting man,
Hell yeah. No, see, I gotta throw a little bit more down.
like deep down, like that's my boy. Like
I will
I love his swagger. I love his his attitude. Yeah. Kevin's
I'll correct you on one stat. Holland actually is coming off of a win. He had a decision win against Gunnar Nelson,
okay.
but he had two losses prior to that because he got subbed by RDR and then he got knocked out by Roman Dolidze. And then he came back and got the decision win against Gunnar Nelson, which if he didn't beat Gunnar Nelson, then
He would have
at
been
that
out.
at that point, fuck Kevin Holland.
Mhm.
Like you gotta beat Gunnar Nelson.
All right. We have Mario Bautista, the cross sniffer apparently. Yo,
Shout out Jose Aldo,
people
man.
are really hate on that guy, man.
Shout
Um,
out Jose Aldo. That should piss me off.
versus Patchy Mix.
This one's super interesting. This one's really hard to call for me.
What
I
the?
wa- I want to I want to give it to Patchy. Like Patchy's just, he's so creative.
I don't really have a pick in this fight because I have not spent the most time watching Patchy's fights. I've seen some of his highlights here and there, but nothing like for me to be able to break down his style and a lot.
Yeah.
I've seen Mario Batista. We're running out of time soon. We have 10 minutes left.
Okay.
I've seen Mario
Yes, we'll get through him.
Batista fight and wrestling heavy, obviously.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I don't know much about Patchy, so I can't really have a pick.
Patchy Mix is he's a title holder in Bellator.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
um
I heard he
he
was.
defended the
I
belt.
heard it's him, but
Yeah, he defended the belt three times so far. He fought Magomedov, and he also had a submission win against Sergio Pettis. So
mm,
he's fought against some UFC competition,
yeah,
more so UFC people transferring over to Bellator. So he has a slight amount of experience, more than somebody that's just freshly walking into the scene. But just his style, stylistically, I think it's going to be tough for Mario Batista. Um, I I'm going to pick Patchy Mix in this one. I see him getting it done by decision. I don't really see either of them finishing each other. I think it's going to be more of a chess match in this one.
nice.
Yes, sir.
Next we have Barn Burner Kevin Gasline versus Joe Pyfer.
And Joe Piper's going to fuck him up.
I know. I feel
He's
bad
going to
'cause
fuck him up.
I really rocks with Kelvin, bro.
I feel like that's my most like in-depth
Big
take
fan of
of
him.
this fight. Joe Piper's going to walk in there and he's going to fuck him up. Anywhere
Yeah.
Gastelum tries to take the fight, Piper's going to have an answer. Piper's got the heavier hands. He's got the
Man.
cleaner punches.
Um,
And we're
in terms of I would say in terms of boxing skills, I might give the edge to Kevin, but
I
just
think
raw
combination wise,
power.
but
Yeah, I think raw power. Joe Pyfer is just a monster and a
Well,
freak.
because we've watched Kevin Gastelum get in so many boxing matches, and the thing about him is like he's always gonna land, but he's gonna get hit.
Yeah,
He's
and
not
can't
the
get
he's
hit
not
by
the
that guy.
best defensive striker.
Definitely cannot. He's a minus 400 favorite.
Yeah, and honestly, rightfully so.
Yeah, understandably
Because
so.
if Gastelum tries to wrestle, I like Piper's gonna be right there with it too.
All right, that was pretty easy. Uh,
Yeah, that one's that was clear. So is this next one, honestly.
so is this next one.
So is this next one.
Juliana Pena said, "You're go." No, no, no. Kayla Harrison said that Juliana's gonna throw everything in the kitchen sink at her because there is absolutely no way that she could win this fight. Which
You know,
is,
to be honest, I almost agree. I almost agree with her.
um, but
I
again,
mean,
like we
Pena,
have
sh
counted Julia
yeah,
Pena out multiple times, and
yeah.
she has
She's
defied
done it.
the
She's done it.
masses. So, you
Mhm.
know, not counting out her championship heart and her championship experience. But if we're looking at a freak of nature versus a human being, this is it. Like
Oh yeah.
they're
Oh
right
yeah.
here. Kayla Harrison, 5'8", has a height advantage. Definitely is the way heavier fighter, as we all know. Juliana Pena called her a weight bully, but you make weight, you make weight. That's it. Like,
Hey,
that's
dude, Kayla Harrison is basically fucking Godzilla walking into that division.
seriously, like the best way to describe it. Um, and they're actually pretty even on the feet.
Hmm.
Kayla Harrison does have the striking advantage, actually, slight advantage, but still. Um, the reason why I say that is because Juliana always talking about her hands and her boxing, but
Hmm.
she actually has the favorite there. And we definitely talk. I did want to say that I if it goes to the ground, um, I see Juliana Pena using her jiu-jitsu really well, but I just think Kayla's grappling and just top side control is just going to
It's
be
gonna be too
way
much.
too heavy for Juliana. Like Kayla's strong as shit, bro.
The one thing that gets me is just seeing Pena get submitted by Durandamy.
Hmm.
Like that just says a lot for me. I mean, she got a really lucky submission win against Amanda Nunez, and like, credit to her, submitting Amanda Nunez is great. That looks amazing on your resume.
I suspect the
Then
ghost
you get submitted by Durandamy.
whooped her. I'm joking.
In Durandamy's career, she has one submission win and one submission loss. That one submission win is against Julian Pena.
Hmm.
And I don't know how I feel about that.
All right, so we call it slaughter, Kayla Harrison by decapitation.
Yeah. Kayla
Um,
Harrison buy anything she wants.
yeah. Whoo! Main event.
Here we go.
Let's go. Let's go. We have Merab Dvalishvili 19-4 versus Sugar Sean O'Malley 18-2. Dude, I
Good
love.
job pronouncing that last name, dude.
Huh?
Say good job getting that last name out there.
Thank you, thank you. I've been practicing all week. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
but dude, I love watching both of these guys fight. Super exciting. Which is so weird. Merab is one of the only few dudes that has a really heavy wrestling style that people don't seem to hate on.
It's because he never stops.
Yeah, it's pretty entertaining because
It's
his
like
instinct is out of this world. So
you just like
what he's doing just doesn't look like he should be able to do that. Yeah.
if anybody wants to know what it's like to watch somebody who just did a lot of meth, just turn on a Marab fight and just watch him go.
Who's on every single drug under the sun.
Everyone,
If
yeah,
you ever
he's
think
a
of
psycho. He's a
what is
psycho.
the Winter Soldier would look like in the world, it is him.
You ever
He's
watch you ever watch I Am Legend with Will Smith?
yeah.
You know the zombies in that one? That's
That
basically
is
Marab, the way he runs
imagine
around.
Marab
It's
as
like,
a zombie. Holy
oh
crap.
hell no. Hey,
Oh my God.
I'm off of
You're
myself
done.
at
You're
that point.
cooked. You're
Yeah,
cooked.
I'm off of myself. I'm not fighting that.
But yeah, Sugar Sean O'Malley, one of the most electrifying fighters out here. Out, one of the most entertaining fighters out here, I will say.
Mm.
I love everything about him, from his swagger, his tattoos, the colors, the rainbows, his personality, his goofiness, his just overall ability to feel so comfortable in the fire and under the spotlight. I love watching Sean O'Malley, man. But
Born to entertain.
yeah, if again, if I am a betting man for this fight, Rob gets it done again because I
Okay.
don't see
Okay.
how anybody could get past that guy's wrestling.
Okay. I respect that. I want to say it. I don't know. I want to say Merab. Like in my gut says Merab. Like I do think Merab is gonna get it done. I just think the game plan for fight one was so terrible for Sean O'Malley. His whole game plan was create the distance, throw shots from the outside, and try to avoid the wrestling. And that's not what you can do against Merab at all because everybody's tried that and we've seen it not work time and time again.
I mean,
Um,
Umar
and he
had
had the messed up
pretty
hip
good
as well.
success in the striking against Marab.
Well, true, but Umar's yeah, it
His,
is true. But Umar's still like
yeah,
Umar has a tenfold like skill or a skilled grappler in comparison to Sean O'Malley though.
agreed.
And I think that's the one thing that changed that fight is Merab knew that he could get Umar down and he could do that, but it wasn't going to be the same as going against Sean O'Malley. Because Sean O'Malley, like Merab knew all he had to do was walk in there, get in his face, get him down, and fight's over. You can hold him there for, 25 minutes. But my take on this fight is going through this whole camp. I know Sean O'Malley has a very different mindset to him for this one. And I know his camp is kind of pushing him in a different direction in terms of game plan for this fight. So I'm curious to see how it looks. I'm curious to see what he does coming out. I think if he does come out with a complete different game plan, to be honest, I don't know what that game plan would be because it seems like nothing works against Merab. But I could see O'Malley getting something creative done and maybe getting a win. My gut says Merab, but just because of me being a fan of the game, I'm gonna go for Sean O'Malley in this one.
You know, as a fan, and I will leave off with this last thing here. It's been a pleasure, guys. Thank you guys for watching.
But
But
yeah,
yeah, as a true fan, I will say I really want Sean to win just because it's entertaining having him as a champ. I miss all the jokes and whatnot. But as a
and they're
betting
gonna
man,
have to run it
I
back
will
if
pick
he
Rob.
wins.
And all right, guys, we'll see you next time. Thank you guys for watching. Anything you
So,
want to say, Spence?
and man, it was good. I mean, this is our first one. I think it's a really good first card to start
Oh,
doing our predictions on.
yeah.
This entire month, the entire next month of the UFC is going to be really electric. Card after card is a banger. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to just making more predictions.
All right. Peace out.
Oh, yeah, man.